Imagine having a successful career in television news and being one of the most recognisable faces in the North East, but deep down harbouring a secret so big at times you can think of nothing else. Well, that's the terrible dilemma faced by newsreader Jonathan Willoughby, who, despite being known on TV screens as a man, secretly knew he was the wrong gender. Well, after bravely making the decision to transition to a woman, India, as she is now, has made history by returning to TV screens, and she's here to tell her story. Please welcome India Willoughby.
Lovely to be here.
Welcome to you. How are you feeling?
Thank you, Colleen. I feel great. Do you know what? They might be running out of Marmite, but they're not running out of polka dot. It's leopard skin.
Yeah. I'm loving your shoes.
I'm loving your shoes.
Thank you very much, ladies. It's great to be here.
Yeah.
Well, you look so confident. I cannot imagine how you felt 2 or 3 years ago.
Do you know what? Growing up, there was probably only about 50% of me actually alive.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's really strange. It's such a complex subject, being transgender, to explain. But essentially, just the science bit is that the template of the embryo when you're in the womb is female. It then goes through a washing process with various chemicals, and that makes the changes. But with transgender people, if you imagine being in a washing machine and the washing machine doesn't quite fill up, so you end up with that disparity between your body and your brain, and you're locked in. And when I was young, I was aware that something wasn't quite
When you
right.
say when you were young, I mean, how young?
Oh, my earliest recollection, probably about even 3, 4, something like that. But I didn't know it was gender.
Yeah.
I just knew that I didn't fit my skin.
Yeah.
You know
Didn't
what I
something
mean?
happen with a lipstick or something?
Yeah, that's right. My grandma actually caught me playing with a lipstick, and she didn't so much tell me off in a nasty way, but she sort of pointed out the rules of pink and blue. You know,
boys and
girls
girls,
did
yeah.
things, boys did another.
Did you ever say anything as a child to anyone like, I feel different to other people?
No. And the reason I didn't, I think, because I grew up in the 70s, I think we all pretty well, maybe not this side, but certainly this side. We all remember the 70s, and it was all like Les Dawson, Danny LaRue.
Well, I can't imagine you, as Jonathan, working in a regional newsroom, which is so macho.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
I worked, obviously, in TV news and in newspapers during that era, and it was men jangling their coins in their pockets.
It was ashes to ashes.
That's you there, isn't it?
That's
you on the right.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Do you know what? That's something else. It's really difficult to look at the old me. I accept it because, you know, you can't deny who you were
And for such a long time.
And for such a long time.
Yeah.
But for a lot of transgender people, it is quite difficult,
Painful.
you know,
Look,
seeing
but
their old skin, as it were.
Yeah. And so at what point then, because you'd gone through years and years and years, you got married, had a lovely boy, nobody knew, did they? You'd never discussed it with anyone. So what was the moment where you thought, I have to do this now?
It actually hit me. It started to get really bad around 40. I'd always thought I could control it. And
Can I just ask, how did you control it? Because it was such a... How do you suppress that urge when it's so who you are?
it's really difficult. It's like holding your breath underwater. Yeah. And every now and again I would come up for air, and I would do that by taking myself off on a weekend somewhere just by myself, and, you know,
and you would
live
dress
as a woman. Yeah.
Wow.
But it's important to say, being trans, it's not so much about the clothes. The clothes are basically like a flag. They're like a social indicator who you actually are. But it's actually just being out there and being accepted, you know, for the real you.
But you had a split life for a while,
I did. I came up with this crazy idea.
I can't believe
you
did this.
Do you know what? It's like a
viewers.
Hollywood film, and looking back, it sounds absolutely bonkers. So I came to the conclusion that I didn't want to lose my family, didn't want to lose my friends, which happens to a lot of transgender people.
Particularly your son.
And particularly my son. Didn't want to set up.
How did your son react?
He was fine. He was great. But what I actually did was I decided to split my life in two, and I thought, I know, I can have my cake and eat it. I'll spend my weekends as Jonathan in one city, and I'll live as the real me in Newcastle. So I
Monday
basically
to Friday.
2 lives, 2 cities, 2 separate wardrobes. Nobody knew each other, and that went on for 5 years until it basically got to the...
Didn't people recognise you?
No, this is why it was like sliding doors, you know, like the film,
yeah,
the sort of twist
which one?
on that. So I was running 2 lives parallel, and I'm sure you can all imagine what, you know, the sort of mental pressures of juggling that, remember what you've said to someone and all that was going on.
But you finally told your son, didn't you?
I did.
And you told him before you had the operation?
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, my son's 17
What year
now.
was that you told him?
That was last year. Yeah. And that was the hardest part of the whole process from the time I was a kid until that point, was telling my son, because he is the apple of my eye. And I told him, and I said, look, I couldn't articulate it, so I had to write it down. I said, read this letter, I'm going to sit on the park bench. He came over and he said, it changes nothing. You know,
And he's been your rock all the way through.
Yeah.
And how proud are you, you know, that he's been such a rock for you?
I am super proud.
Can I ask?
Yeah.
So what does he call you now?
Do you know what? That is actually a really interesting question. Yeah. There's a sort of awkwardness around that aspect, which I understand, because I'm a little bit awkward about it as well.
Can't be Dad.
It's difficult, because when you get to Father's Day and, you know, you don't really want to... But equally, you know, I get on well with his mum, and you don't want to tread on her
day.
So it's like a really difficult thing. The whole transgender thing is so complex.
So what have you decided on?
We haven't... We've got this sort of polite silence thing that's...
But that'll probably come over time. That'll come over time. Every day you're learning together.
Anyway.
Yeah, I think, you know, because he's been so good to me, I don't feel like I should be putting any pressure on him.
Whatever
he feels comfortable with.
Sadly, we're coming near to the end. I could chat to you all day.
Yeah.
Actually, it's so interesting, and you look amazing.
Yeah, you do.
What would be your advice to anyone sitting at home who's living the life you used to live of not being able to fulfil?
Yeah, I think, especially in this day and age, you know, there's nothing weird about it. It's just a characteristic of being a human being. It's no different from having freckles. Yeah. Well, maybe a little bit different from having freckles. But talk to somebody, you know, find somebody you can trust. Yeah. Talk it through with them, and you know, a lot of people think these sort of things are a whim, fetish. They're not. They are real.
Can I just say, like Colleen said, you look amazing. And can we have a
thank you
round
very
of applause for whoever did your surgery?
Yes.
Because you look amazing.
Oh, well,